Welcome to Chapter 13, the Green Energy Chokepoint. This video explores the existential dependence of the net zero era, based on The Silent Creditor by Sam Prajnananda. First, let's look at GreenOutWave. We are a sovereign digital platform dedicated to creating, preserving, and distributing knowledge, music, and stories to awaken cultural memory and inspire self-development. The decarbonization mantra drives Western industrial policy toward a net zero future with billions in subsidies. However, this entire transition is tethered to African geography. The existential tether is evident, as electric vehicles and wind farms rely on specific African minerals. Without these subsoil resources, the transition would halt within months. This dependence is more strategically brittle than reliance on Middle Eastern oil. The mathematics of dependence shows that green energy is vastly more mineral-intensive than fossil fuels. Electric vehicles require 6 times the mineral inputs of conventional cars, and wind plants need 9 times more mineral resources than gas plants. Cobalt is an essential stabilizer, ensuring battery stability and preventing overheating. The Democratic Republic of Congo accounts for over 70% of global production, with demand projected to grow by 60% by 2040. Lithium, the white gold, is the core of current battery technology. African deposits in Zimbabwe, Namibia, and Mali are high-grade and largely untapped. Global demand is expected to increase 5 to 8 times by 2040. Copper is the nervous system of the green transition, essential for solar panels, wind turbines, and charging stations. The IEA predicts a 40% increase in demand by 2040, and the Central African Copper Belt holds the world's highest grade deposits. The green transition in the north is silently subsidized by the poverty of the south. Low electric vehicle costs exclude the environmental and social costs of extraction. The green future in places like Norway is built on the backs of miners and Kolwezi. Africa is caught in the refining trap, capturing only about 3% of the battery and electric vehicle supply chain value. Minerals are extracted in Africa but refined primarily in China, meaning capital accumulation stays in the east and west. The US and EU are desperately trying to de-risk from Chinese processed minerals through critical mineral partnerships with African nations. For the first time, African nations can demand conditionality from the West. China understood this choke point decades ago. State-backed firms now own the majority of the Democratic Republic of Congo's large-scale mines, making the West a latecomer, trying to regain footing in an ignored market. One risk is green resource nationalism, where wealth is captured by the elite, potentially replacing the oil curse with a cobalt curse. Environmental destruction is another risk, as lithium and cobalt mining are highly water-intensive. Another risk is substitution. If the walkaway price for African minerals becomes too high, the North will accelerate the development of alternatives, such as sodium-ion batteries. Leverage is a perishable asset. The conclusion suggests Africa should refuse to export raw green minerals and force factories to relocate to the source. Africa can serve as the regulatory valve of the global energy transition. The key insight is existential dependence. Net zero is physically impossible without African minerals. Leverage must be used to force local value addition, as any contract allowing 100% raw export is a strategic failure. Strategic action steps include forming a "green mineral cartel" to coordinate quotas and minimum prices. Another step is implementing a local processing mandate with a 5-year sunset clause on raw exports. Part 2 of the action steps involves sovereign resource-backed finance, using proven reserves as collateral for bonds. This funding can secure baseload power to build hydro or solar grids for local refineries. If you found this content valuable, please like this video to help others find it. Subscribe and hit the bell icon so you never miss a deep dive. Share this video with a friend or colleague. For further exploration of this important topic, please scan the QR code displayed on the screen.